See, I think the first fuck up here is that Stark's wearing his everyday outfit, and she's fucking dressed up. Although at the same time, I don't think Stark has other clothes. Some more goats. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we're back with another episode of Frieren. This time though, we come back with just my notes. We would normally have a board, and the board as it is will be linked down below in the description, but there are no changes to the board, so there's nothing to go over on the board. It might be different if there was like a map that I could use, but the map that I have is only for Season 1 locations, and looking at it, even the town that we visited this time, not on the map. So, nothing I can do there. So, to notes. Knowing nothing about the manga, any guess I make about what's to come is entirely off the top of my head. So, I say this only based on the observation that just about every episode starts with a year count since Himmel's death and a location. Is it possible that we are counting up to something as we keep track of the journey's progress? I ask only as a fan of observing nice round numbers. Himmel and party defeated the Demon King and went back to the capital to report back and get the reward. Saw the Era meteor shower, then came back 50 years later to do it again at a better location, as promised. So, that's 50 years since the death of the Demon King. Now we are 29 years from the death of Himmel, or 79 years since the death of the Demon King. What if we're counting up to 100 years from the death of the Demon King, as something special will happen at the end because of it? I mean the end meaning the location, not the end of the show. And the counter on Himmel's death is something of a reminder towards that. That's just a guess. It could be something far simpler, of course, like Frieren is counting time from the death of the person that caused her to see the world in a new light, and it's more important, a number to her now than anything else. So I'm also now thinking, do I remember how old Fern is? Because I don't remember how long it was since Himmel's death that she then went and met up with Heiter, which is when she would have found Fern, and Fern was what, like, I can't remember, like 5 or 6 when she first meets her? I can't remember. Because I was thinking this while I was writing the note, but now I can't remember what I was thinking specifically. The element that how old would Fern and Stark be? What are we looking at here? 21 years later? I know the obvious answer would be 21 years older. Older than what, though? They would be like 30s, 40s? And in that case, I don't think anything appreciable would change. I mean, obviously, I'm here for the long journey. If we keep going for like ever, I could, you know, this is the thing I think I talked about, like with Mushoku Tensei. The show doesn't have to be specifically about these characters all the time. I mean, we gave up Sign, so clearly I don't know what the fuck that says. But if we just focused on Frieren and say Stark and Fern fall in love, have kids, grow old, and then we follow the story of Frieren and those kids, I'd still be here. I'd still be here for that. The village was abandoned over 30 years ago, so sometime before Himmel died, but long after the end of the journey. I was typing all of this up as though there was an observation to make in that, but there's nothing I can really make out. Probably just something happenstance. I mean, unless Aura mentioned something that she'd been up to that I missed. This is really a meta note of something I was thinking while watching the animation of Frieren and gang making their way up to the hidden mountain spring. But in the back of my mind, I started thinking about how I don't really have anything to say during these quiet parts, and how the emotionality of these scenes was always better discussed with a co-host. And my mind started to wander, thinking about how many people probably think I'm watching this show to chase views based on its popularity, despite how, essentially, no one is even watching these reactions. Made me think back to why I'm watching it in the first place, and the journey to get to this point. Way back when, this used to be a tabletop channel where I'd record tabletop RPGs I played with friends. Eventually, I convinced one of them, Griffin, to start watching death battles and reacting to them, and that eventually turned into watching anime together. A little over a year or two into doing that, I saw the trailer for this show and really wanted to share it with Griffin. Well, that's around the time that he chose to move on with his life and moved on from the channel, which is also why you might recall that when Justin joined us, he was in the camera with a picture of Griffin as Stark, because Griffin had left just before the art was finished. Then we started watching shows with Justin for almost a year, including finishing the first season of Frieren with him. Then here we are, in season 2, just me. And I think back to how many other shows have had that same effect. Jujutsu Kaisen, Mushoku Tensei, hell, Made in Abyss started with 3 of us, me, Griffin, and Shy. Then season 2 had just the 2 of us, me and Griffin. And when a new season comes out, it'll just be me. I feel like that really encapsulates the feel I get from Frieren. That the journey here was filled with good times, good friends, and now I'm just here enjoying it alone, noticing the silence in spaces that were once filled with other points of view. Even the comment section used to be a lot less quiet. So no, this isn't a seasonal follow for me. As I say, with a number of shows, I'd be watching this and posting it, even if the view count was 0, as it means more to me now than it did before we even started it. I'm not just watching it for myself, I'm watching it for everyone that I used to watch it with, just continuing the journey. That rock that had the moss growing over it, we see it in the flashback to Himmel's party making its way past, and I swear we saw that symbol back in season 1 somewhere. Wasn't that an elf goddess or something? I can't remember what there was about it, but I remember that it was a thing. In fact, when they got to the hot spring town, when Frieren stands up and says the name of the episode, behind her on the wall seems to be the image of that very same thing, an elf with angel's wings. If Himmel's party had to make a deal with a monster in the area where they were, and this monster is here now, then I guess this must be 2 different monsters. Otherwise, I'd be wondering how this one is here if Himmel and company already took care of it. And my final note, well, now we're on the countdown for Stark slip-up number 3. Have to wonder if it'll be this season or not, though. The first was in the first season. They might be sprinkling them from season to season, so the 3rd time he does it, there'll be no forewarning for the tantrum. And of course, I wrote that before she said, I'll subtract 1 from your count. So technically he's down to 1, but we're still apparently counting. And the element was that he did call her a hag, I believe in the first season, which would then imply this is just something we're to keep carrying across seasons. Anyway, those were my notes. As I said, we have no comments either, so nothing left to do but to hop on in and see what we get from this episode.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's 0 pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I have to also wonder, and again, I always apologize because I do have to talk over these openings, because otherwise I'd be sitting here in silence and you guys wouldn't be hearing the opening anyway. Well, you on YouTube anyway. Because again, the most copyrightable thing in the entirety of the show is going to be the music. I have to wonder how long it's going to be until we get a second opening. Because I believe that we're hitting things in the opening that are indicating how far into the season we are. Like, I don't know if we're already going to count the kids with the goats, because 1, there was a bunch of kids last episode, and there was the goat in the town. I think I also mentioned that there is the 2 people that I feel like were back from the testing arc were also in the opening, so that's to come. And otherwise, what was it? Guy drinking, guy passing over a bridge, guy in the frozen area. Oh, Not for nothing, there was also a Himmelin party in a frozen area too, which kind of indicates a crossover between the two things. But yeah, I think that we're going to hit a point where the opening is no longer going to indicate the part of the journey that we're on, and we're going to get a second opening for the season. Oh, I guess we actually are going to see the date. Given the title of the episode and the conversation going on at the end of last episode, I mean the next time on conversation, I just kind of assume that we're going to skip over it. How very normal of an outfit for her. I guess it's really on Stark not to fuck this up. He was paying attention. See, I think the first fuck up here is that Stark's wearing his everyday outfit, and she's fucking dressed up. Although at the same time, I don't think Stark has other clothes. Some more goats. Yeah, say don't call attention to it. Yeah, what kind of small talk can you have? You literally spend every day with her already. By which I mean spontaneous small talk, not like... We know this isn't the first time that you noticed that she was cute. Oh, out of the shadow.
大きな町の市場だと珍しい魔道具があることもあるらしいぜ。すごいね。
See, I think it makes shows a little bit of effort. Because we know he doesn't care about magic items, but she might. How is she gonna carry that skull around? Uh-oh, back in the shadow. Is that the same old woman from the last couple of days? Same voice. So that's why I was talking about back in the shadow. I felt like it was a bad subject matter. Uh-oh, Stark. I feel like that's the two of the main things that Frieren gave you. Shop and eat. Although it's a quiet place with a view. Didn't ask her what she was interested in. Also, you're always in front of her. And the thing she literally was interested in, you let somebody else buy it. Just throw out there, I'm no good with dates either. Obviously, look at me. Look what I'm doing. I feel like you could easily take away that you're making fun of her for putting effort into the date. Without meaning to, of course, but... like I've already indicated, I'm an idiot, so I don't fucking know what you're supposed to pull from this specifically. That really feels like something you should have shared.
ヒンメル様の像ってどの町にもありますね。
この町でのポーズもかっこよかったな。
そうですね。
フリーレンの話だと像のポーズは100通り以上あるらしいぜ。
ちょっと作り
Yeah, to make some variety, huh?
な。
結局またフリーレン様の話になってしまいました。しかし物静かでいいところですね。景色も綺麗ですし。
そうだな。フェルン、もしかしてあまり楽しくなかった？
そんなことないですよ。
Not what you expected?
も笑っていない。
そうですね。確かに好みな場所ばかりでしたけれども、なんだかシュタルク様らしくなかったです。せっかくのデートだったのに。
Ouch.
ごめん。
Ouch.
実はフリーレンに選んでもらったんだ。
どうしてそんなことを？
どうしてもフェルンに喜んでほしかったんだ。せっかくのデートだから。
At least we're being open and honest. I really like that.
そうですか。確かに今日は少し残念に思いました。でもとても嬉しいです。私のために必死に考え
Yeah,
て
you
くれたん
tried,
ですね。
right? I'm glad we didn't do some stupid misunderstanding bullshit. That we're open and honest about it made this all worthwhile.
あの雲ちょっと似てませんか？さっき食べた肉まんです。
俺も思ってた。
なんだか不思議です。
See, there you go. All of my observations would have fucked everything up too.
そうだな。
ハイター様のおかげですね。
俺だって師匠のおかげだ。
You know, I was actually hoping that we were gonna hand back to him what he's doing right now. Because I would have appreciated the confirmation that he's still around and kicking.
なあ師匠。
なんだ。
なんで俺なんか拾ってくれたんだ。
勇者ヒンメルならそうしたからだ。
We're back to the old, what would Himmel do? For the longest time, I meant to get that as a emote on the channel.
いいことあったの？別に。
ここにもいなかったか。参ったね。 依頼主から聞いた心当たりはもう全部探したのに。
ヒンメル、どうして笑っているの？
僕は今機嫌がいいんだ。今日はいい一日だ
Spent
った。
all day with you, right?
朝から二人して迷子の猫を探して歩き回っただけ。
Oh, it's because Himmel called it
そ
a
うだ
date?
ね。でも僕は君と二人で出かけられて楽しかった。
猫が見つかってないのに？
期待した通りにいかなくてもその過程が楽しければいい。そんなことでも人は機嫌が良くなるものなんだ。よし、ハイターたちに先を越される前にもう一踏ん張りしよう。お、
いたよヒンメル。
間違いない。捕まえるぞ。
Well, typical anime fashion, if you headshot a cat, you're gonna be covered in scratches. Okay, they didn't show us that part.
また三つ編みになってる。
これはね、機嫌がいい時の三つ編みだよ。
違いがわかんない。
どう？決まってるでしょ。
本当に違いがわかんない。
I'm gonna be honest. She's a lot more frayed when she's in a bad mood.
火山地帯を抜けたからね。そろそろ見えてくるかな。あれが北部高原の関所ですか。
随分と物々しいな。
それだけ外が危険だということ。
I keep waiting for them to hit the town of Tur, or Tur, whatever it is. That's the only location marked on the map in the north, other than the end, of course.
必要な物資を揃えようか。
そのカバン見た目よりたくさん入るんだな。
便利でしょ。
I mean, as per my comment about the skull.
一級魔法使いフェルン様ですね。お気をつけて。
フェルンってすごいんだな。
一級魔法使いは魔法使いの最高峰だからね。
Yeah, it's a shame that Frieren couldn't get her her shit done.
ここが北部高原か。なんだか危険って言われていた割には普通の場所だな。
本気で言ってるんですか、シュタルク様。
They said that there was another race of magical creatures up here that were like sub-demon or lesser than demon. Not what I was talking about.
気を引き締めて。こんなのは序の口だよ。
Okay. King of the forest. I'm guessing that was Ka from the Jungle Book. I mean, obviously don't make an encampment where there's a pile of bones already.
集落だね。
死ぬかと思ったぜ。
3日3晩気が抜けませんでしたからね。休めるといいのですが。
I mean, the concern here would be what's the trick?
使っていない小屋がありますので、ご自由にお使いください。
ありがとう。
それで、代わりと言ってはなんですが、実はこの先の街道に強力な魔物が出るようになってしまいまして。
Okay.
自治を担っている騎士団などでは歯が立たず、行商人も来れぬようになってしまったのです。この通り冒険者もめったに訪れぬ土地、どうかその魔物を討伐してはくれませんでしょうか。
いいよ。 どうせ北上するし、ついでに討伐しておくよ。それでいいよね。はい。
いいけどよ。街道を南に下れば3日もあれば北部高原から出られるんだ。こんな危険な場所で暮らす必要は
Here's
な
what
い
I'm
んじゃね
saying.
えか？
What's the trick? Why are you here? And how are you still here?
北側諸国でも危険な土地です。ですが、私たちはここで生まれ育ったのです。
Are those the kids with the goats that see in the opening?
たくさん詰まっています。誰が故郷を捨てられましょうか。
See, I was expecting a negative thing from him. The fact that they're both orphans. That they would call him stupid or something for putting the kids at risk. Also, those were goats in the pen, weren't they? I suppose this should be it. Is it going to be typical Frieren fashion of 1 minute fight? Is that the sub-demon type? Because it doesn't seem fully demon.
これが例の魔物か。油断しないようにね。
It's all like fall. Holding Stark back.
なかなか厄介そうな相手だね。
I mean, Stark can cleave through a mountain, so...
今までのやり方が通じる相手じゃないよ。そのようですね。では。
I was gonna say, you haven't really tried anything yet. Illusions. Gonna throw something at her?
シュタルク、動きを封じて。任せとけ。
しぶといやつだな。けどそれなら俺だって負けてないぜ。
Okay. I was about to say she was about to shoot right through Stark.
さすがに強かったな。
まだ北部高原の入り口だからね。この程度の強さの魔物はこれから山ほど相手にすることになるよ。
こんなのがゴロゴロいるのかよ。
ハードですね。
なあフリーレン。これならやっぱりカイロでもよかったんじゃねえか。金を払う価値はあると思うぜ。
I mean, you gotta be able to test your metal here. You can't just skip over the strong stuff.
まさかこれほど強力な魔物がいるとはな。死ぬかと思いました。
こんな危険な場所ならカイロで迂回すればよかったのに。
だからこそだよ。北部高原にもたくさんの人が住んでいる。 僕は自分の故郷を守りたくて勇者になったからね。
Okay, I mean, his reason's good
他
too.
の誰かの故郷も守りたいんだ。
シュタルク、北部高原が故郷の人だってたくさんいるんだよ。
Man, I did already forget Stark's backstory.
頑張りましょう。
That was a good little flashback. Good reminder.
はい。今回はシュタルクの捨て身の頑張りでなんとかなったけれど、今後はパーティーとしての連携をもっと意識していかないとだね。そうですね。ところでシュタルクはどうして座ったままなの？
別に座ってるわけじゃないぜ。腰が抜けちゃった。
That's quite a lot.
情けない。
仕方ないだろ。死ぬかと思ったぜ。あんなとんでもない魔法。
Another one of those, sorry, obviously, we're going with the joke there that Stark's legs gave out because he put so much effort in, right? But the overscene there at the end, one, kids with the goats from the opening. I don't know, maybe I'm paying too much attention to the opening bit, but kids with the goats. And on the left-hand side of that, another one of those, I don't know what to call it, elf goddess markers. But of course, this one is fine. Gets to the middle of a town, I guess. Again, I don't know if I'm just focusing too much on stuff that doesn't matter, but I feel like this is in that category of shows where I've been taught to focus on things because they'll pay off later. And I can't even tell if that's a thing anymore, right? It's just the element that, I don't know. There's been, I don't know, every other show that I watch. Sometimes the openings really matter. Sometimes the openings are just, hey, it's here for fun. Enjoy the song. Enjoy some visuals. And constantly, I'm getting thrown by this ending because the song is just so fucking good. And the knowledge that I have to talk over it anyway. I keep wanting to stop and listen to it. It's that good.
どうなっても知らないよ。
マジでどうしよう。
フリーレンさん、
これも最強の名手のためよ。
当たり前です。北部高原の物流。
Okay, logistics, the president told me, and something about liquor. So, clearly there's going to be a flashback to Heiter and something he did. Maybe we'll get Sign back? I doubt it. I keep saying I want to get Sign back, but Sign's doing his own thing with Guerrilla Warrior, or finding Guerrilla Warrior. And I don't know how much further north he would have been. Well, he couldn't have been here. I think we're past finding Sign again. Because how would Sign have gotten here without a first-class major? Oh, never mind, actually. What's her name? Shit, hold on. I do have the board open on the back. Is it just in case? What was her name that I thought that I saw in the opening? Methode. I think that I saw Methode with Ginu in the opening. So if I say, how did Sign get to the north? Or if we were to meet him up here, Methode passed the tests, so she could have gotten here, and Sign could have... Well, then why would Sign be ahead of her, though? I mean, why would Sign be ahead of the party if she would be here? Never mind, this all falls apart at that point, I feel like. Because she was doing the tests too, Sign's whole thing was not waiting, he went ahead. If we were going to see him again, I feel like we would have seen him at the gate, where you need the qualification to move forwards. And my only thought, well, I guess technically, Sign could have gotten on the boat. And there's no indication that you would need a first-class certification to get on the boat. I don't know. I feel like I'm trapped, always trying to make excuses for Sign showing up later. Yeah. Either way, I'm suspecting we're going to get some Heiter backstory stuff. Again, because liquor. Who else? If it's not Sign, it's going to be Heiter. And otherwise, I don't know. I don't know. enjoyable episode, though. I do appreciate that the date didn't go exactly as planned. However, it still turned out well. And other than that, the indication that things aren't going to be exactly status quo when it comes to monsters anymore. I don't foresee this actually becoming a problem, though. I think Frieren is holding back still, as per everything that we saw of her before we got to like the final tests of the testing arc. Because otherwise, she wouldn't be the mage that ended the journey, you know, the one that defeated the Demon King. If she's going to get thrown by simple stuff on the side of the road. I think we're just testing our teamwork at this point. Well, yeah, I think that's generally everything. We're not being left off with like a massive turmoil thing or something I have to really consider. We're just on the journey, and my thoughts in the episode are generally going to be my thoughts after the episode. So, that said, once again, I have been Theta, this has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?